Welcome back, everybody, to another shocking episode of Lockdown 23 in 1. That's right, shocking it is, and today I got a little bit different of a format. I'm gonna have various types of lockup and crime-related news, courtroom sentencings, a couple clips of people in prison. It's gonna be like an episode from all my playlists blended together. New stuff though, nothing refurbished. But look, I can't stress it enough, if you happen to be new to the channel and enjoy all things lockup and crime related, then this is absolutely where you need to be. Hit that like, subscribe, notification bell before you leave, and check out my beautifully assorted playlist with many more videos for you to start watching today. Alright, so the first story of the day absolutely blew my mind because I used to do this stuff when I was a kid. Not to mention many other kids across the world. If I were to guess, right now as we speak, someone's TPing a house. TPing, for anybody that doesn't know, is toilet papering. I remember back in the day, it was a warm summer night. There was these construction sites right next to this place called Greenbrier Mall. I got robbed at gunpoint with a Desert Eagle in the back of my head behind this mall years later in life. But either way, yeah, back to that warm summer night, about 10 or 11 years old with my friends. We decided to go to these construction sites behind the mall. It was a bunch of buildings, you know, they were building up the place. We pretty much TP'd that whole block radius. Them construction workers probably came back the next day, he's like, come on, man, guess we gotta take the day off. But what I'm trying to say here is these type of antics, you know, toilet paper and a tree in someone's front yard or a construction site, it usually ends up harmless. You know, you could get a little charge here and there. But today's story of a TP incident definitely didn't. Coming from Gainesville, Georgia, a Hall County man who worked as a teacher has died after authorities said he was struck by a vehicle during a late-night prank outside his home, prompting vehicular homicide charges against an 18-year-old Gainesville resident. His whole life changed at that very moment. It says the Hall County Sheriff's Office Accident Investigation Unit said the incident happened around 11:40 p.m. Friday in the 4400 block of Northgate Drive. Deputies responded to reports that a man had been run over in the roadway. The victim was identified as Jason Hughes, 40, of Gainesville, who was taken by Hall County Fire Rescue to Northeast Georgia Medical Center, where he later died. Investigators say a group of 5 teenagers had gone to Hughes' home and rolled his trees with toilet paper, a prank commonly known as TPing. When Hughes came outside, authorities say the group ran to 2 vehicles to leave the area. According to investigators, Jaden Ryan Wallace, 18, began driving away in a pickup truck on Northgate Drive when Hughes tripped and fell into the road where he was struck by the vehicle. Officials said that Wallace and the others stopped and attempted to help Hughes until first responders arrived. Wallace was arrested at the scene and is now charged with first-degree vehicular homicide, criminal trespass, and littering on private property. Man, they hit him up with everything, even the litter bug jang. That 18-year-old is going to get smoked if I were to guess, but at the same time, maybe not. It said that Wallace began driving away in a pickup truck, right? But he didn't just keep on going. That means he had a heart, man. He stayed at the scene till the emergency crew arrived. Most people that ain't got no kind of remorse or heart or guilt or anything of the situation, all they care about is their self, is they run. This dude got out the truck and stayed there till EMS showed up. Freak accident, man. And this guy, if I were to guess, regrets every last second of it. Authorities said that the 4 other people involved were also arrested and each faced misdemeanor charges of criminal trespass and littering. And they identified all of them, and they're all 18. So I don't know if they're still in high school or if they just graduated, man. If they just graduated, because I graduated when I was 17. And if they just graduated, man, and they're still TPing houses, what's going on with y'all, man? Grow the f up. I wasn't doing that at 18 no more. Shoot, I had a revolver. Wait, hold on. I was in prison. Forgot about that. Damn, sometimes I can't believe how young I was in prison. But it says Jason Hughes was a loving husband and a devoted father, a passionate teacher, mentor, and coach who was loved and respected by students and his colleagues. He gave so much to so many in numerous ways. Our hearts and prayers go out to his wife and family. Very sad. My condolences and heart go out to the family as well. And unfortunately to the teens' family as well. They probably can't imagine that their kids got caught up in something like this. If I were to guess, you're hearing it here first. We'll probably get a little dime piece, 10 clip, maybe 20. And sometimes, you know, a lot of cases, these charges get lowered to like manslaughter. And if that happens and the victim's family, you know, accepts their apology and everyone's kind of on the same page, that it was a complete accident, dude might get spared. You know, he might just. We'll see, ladies and gentlemen. I'll try to keep y'all updated when the updates come my way. But believe it or not, look, I started making this video yesterday. Today's a new day, even though I'm wearing the same damn outfit and skin. I got a couple different skin suits I like to wear sometimes. But look, it's a new day, and today it brought a new update to this story. It turns out that the teacher that died's wife wants to see the charges dropped on the teenagers. Why? Many people might be asking, why in the hell would you not want justice for your husband? It's very simple. Look, her husband was in the business of helping kids. I heard in a news story that, the students kind of make it a seasonal thing every year to toilet paper this teacher's house. And the wife said that they were actually waiting for the toilet papering to happen, with excitement. Kind of cat and mouse game, not to get them in trouble, the kids, but to kind of just have a little bit of fun, I guess. I don't know, I'd be pissed. I have to get clean up toilet paper every damn year. But that's the reason. She knows it was a complete accident, and she doesn't want to ruin these kids' lives any more than what it's already going to be doing. Remember, the courts has the last say-so. Even though, the widow wants to accept their apologies and wants the charges dropped. Let's say it happened in Virginia, a great, beautiful Commonwealth state. It doesn't matter, man. The state's going to pick up the charges regardless. It's going to go through the court process, and chances are you might see like a year or two, even if the victim's wife wants the charges dropped. So one thing's for sure, two things for certain. It's looking really good for the defendants, having the widow on their side with the charges being dropped. But number two, the courts has the last say-so. And the question here is, are they going to try to make an example of this young man? Because if I were to guess, there's a lot of TPing going on these days. But moving right along to the next story, hopefully you got your khakis on because we're jumping into the courtroom. And we always got to dress to impress a judge, even if we're not the defendant. It's called respect for the Honorable Judge Boyd. Bobby, finally, you can turn on the canisters. Before we get started, let me break down exactly why the defendant's in the courtroom to begin with. First off, the Honorable Judge Boyd handles many types of cases. And look, she'll give you a second chance, put you on probation, but if you mess up probation, one thing I've learned about the Honorable Judge Boyd is she doesn't play with them. After she cut you that first break, the second one might never come back around. But it says here that Judge Boyd presides over the revocation hearing of Fernando Carmona III, originally placed on deferred adjudication for aggravated robbery. And deferred adjudication, for people that don't know, is you're found guilty of the crime, but if you complete probation and everything the courts ask you to do, then it's going to be gone like you never even had it. But many people can't survive probation for a couple weeks, let alone years. They end up getting dirty urns, going on the run, catching new cases, which is the worst possible thing you could do while on probation. Now, I don't know exactly how he messed up his probation, but with this defendant having aggravated robbery, if I were to guess, he's facing quite a bit of time. Let's find out.
Lauren Espinoza for the state.
Andrew K. Hicks for the defense.
And are you Mr. Carmona?
Yes, ma'am.
And are parties ready to proceed?
We're ready to proceed, Judge.
All right. Did you review the document entitled Motion to Enter Adjudication of Guilt and Revoke Community Supervision with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, Your Honor.
Are you the same Fernando Carmona III who was placed on deferred adjudication in 2022 CR 9805 for the offense of aggravated robbery on February 3rd, 2023 for a period of 10 years? Is that you?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, state.
On state's First Amendment motion.
Oh, I'm so sorry. And also, did you review the First Amendment motion with your attorney?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, you may proceed.
Violated condition number 1. On or about the 22nd day of November 2025 in Bexar County, Texas, the defendant, Fernando Carmona III, committed the offense of failure to ID, fugitive intent to give false information in violation of condition number 1.
Ooh, that's a new crime. New charges and
All
never
right,
good.
how do you plead? True or not true?
True.
Violated condition number 1. On or about the 22nd day of November 2025 in Bexar County, Texas, the defendant, Fernando Carmona III, committed the offense of evading arrest detention in violation of condition number 1.
How do you plead to that?
True.
Violated condition number 4. In Bexar County, Texas, the defendant, Fernando Carmona III, did then and there fail to report to the supervision officer as directed for the months of January, February, March, April, May, June, July, August, September, and October 2025 in violation of condition number 4.
How do you plead to that? True or not true?
True.
And finally, violated condition number 4. In Bexar County, Texas, the defendant, Fernando Carmona III, did then and there fail to report to the supervision officer as directed for the months of January, February, March, April, May, June, July, August, September, October, November, and December of 2024 in violation of condition number 4.
How do you plead to that? True or not true?
True, Your Honor.
State will waive the remaining.
Any objections to the waivers?
No, Judge. None, Judge.
All right. Did you understand by pleading true to violations 1, 1, 4, and 4, the court could find it true, grant the motion, find you guilty, and sentence you up to life in prison?
Yes, Your Honor.
and up to a $10,000 fine. Did you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
Knowing that, do you still wish to plead true to violations 1, 1, 4, and 4?
Yes, Your Honor.
Court will find 1, 1, and 4 true. Is there a proposed agreement?
No, there's not, Judge. We have differing opinions, so the state's position.
All right, so it's looking like the defendant has messed up in the worst way possible. Like I said already, catching a brand new charge. Sound like he gave him false ID information and fleed the police. And not to mention going on the run from probation. I mean, you would think facing life in prison you'd be an angel out there, right? Some people might not think you could face that much time for robbery. Well, think again. It says here in Texas, strong arm robbery typically charges aggravated robbery if it involves serious bodily injury, a deadly weapon, or a victim over 65 is a first-degree felony. It carries a penalty range of 5 to 99 years or life in prison, along with fines up to $10,000. Right, so the window's wide open for the judge, which is absolutely terrifying for the defendant. He might never see them streets again. But the sad look of remorse on his face could shed some years off. Let's see if it plays with the judge's heartstrings a bit.
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, you can lower your hand, state your name for the record.
Nando Carmona.
All right, let's get to the crux of things. Why did you never report?
I was going through a lot at the time. I had a miscarriage with my girlfriend, and then my daughter's mom wasn't letting me see my daughter that I have right now, and I started taking a lot of drugs, and I just let time pass, and I wasn't really in the right state of mind.
Not one drip drop of what he said is an excuse not to show up to probation. The only reason on why you didn't show up to probation that you could possibly bring is a doctor's note saying you got shot 32 times and somehow he's still alive. He couldn't make it to probation, ma'am. That's the only way, man. I'm just playing. There are other, maybe excuses you could use, but there's very few of them.
But you were in the right state of mind to commit new offenses.
Yep. Yeah, he was.
I had just panicked whenever I saw cops, and I just tried to run.
Here's the thing.
Can't run, man.
I think that you're a good candidate for probation.
Oh,
I
no.
understand that.
And the reason being is because
You ran.
you were given a chance at probation.
Sure.
And I'm sure it was because of your age. The state recommended for you to have deferred adjudication. And when they did that, they took into consideration 3 cases.
Yes, Your Honor.
And so you're not a good candidate for probation. Have you done anything while you've been on probation?
I tried to report for the first time, but then
He was depressed, Your Honor.
I'm sorry, Your Honor. I just had a lot of that had happened at the time, and I was just emotional, and I just wasn't who I am. I'm sorry.
Well, no, I mean, here's the thing. I understand that sometimes people want to turn back the hands of time, but you can't.
Nope.
So we just have to deal with where we are now.
Yep.
Yes, Your Honor.
And where we are now is, according to what I'm seeing, you have not done anything
Yes, Your
on
Honor.
probation,
Dang.
except pick up new cases.
Oh, yeah.
And that's the number one thing. The easiest thing is to report, because all that, it takes time because you're sitting, waiting for whoever your officer is to call you back and not pick up any new cases.
Look, I've seen a lot of Judge Boyd's sentencings. And just judging by her cool, nonchalant composure and her primetime word choice, it sounds like he's doing good, but really she's just naming bad things over and over. This dude's gonna get smoked from here to kingdom come. Bobby Q it. We're jumping straight to the meat and potatoes.
And you haven't done anything. The only thing you've done is not report and pick up new charges.
Yes.
I don't think you're a good candidate for probation. So I'm going to grant the motion and I'm going to find you guilty. The only question is as it relates to length of time.
5 years, I
Judge,
guess. 10 years.
with regards to the length of time, again, we would ask that the court please take into consideration Mr. Carmona's age, as Your Honor has already risen. I'm sorry, I'm getting over a cold. My mind is still a little bit in flux here. As the court has already raised on its own accord, he is very, very young. I believe that this incident took place when he was 19 years old. He's 23, about to turn 24 years old right now. Obviously, this underlying incident, I understand that there were some pretty bad facts in this case. Nevertheless, I would please ask that the court please take into consideration then the time that has passed since then. He does actually have a girlfriend who is here in the courtroom with him, who has set him for the most part on the straight and narrow since then.
Is this the person who had the miscarriage?
Yes.
Okay.
And she has cared deeply. She has been in touch with me
Oh my.
pretty consistently.
The judge gave him a tissue. I've never seen that before. He might get spared again. I don't know, man. That tissue could mean a couple things, actually. To help with the tears already, or to help with the amount of tears that's about to come after you see how much time you get. It's a dual-edged sword, that napkin. I'm scared.
She's been looking out for him.
And how old is she?
How old are you again? Sir? She's 19, Judge.
She's 19, and
What?
you decided to attach your star to somebody who is on probation for aggravated robbery, decided to have a child with him, and the only thing he's done on probation has been pick up new cases and not report it. Is this what we're doing in this world?
See, that's what I like in a judge. Not only is she handling the defendant, but she's giving that girlfriend some good advice. Like, come on, wake up. This guy's a loser. I'm not saying that's what the judge said. I'm saying that's what I'm saying. I'm sure he's not a loser. He'll probably just get like 5 years and turn his life around. Probably get back with the same girl.
Judge, I can't speak to her choices on this there, but she sees something in Mr. Carmona, and she has really taken an interest in him. And as such, I would just, again...
That's a great attorney.
I can speak from a personal experience, Judge, that as a man, I was a different man from when I was 19 to 24, and then to what I am today. There's a reason why they say the brain doesn't stop developing until you're in your late 20s, especially as men. And I see that Mr. Carmona, I mean, I when I met him, I kind of ran the full gamut of emotions there. I mean, admittedly, he was a little bit cocky when I first met him, and then he got a little concerned, a little frustrated, and now today I see this very scared young man. And right now he is very, very much staring down the fact that he could be spending the rest of his life in prison. And again, based on the facts of, as I understand them, because I did not handle the underlying case, I've been handling only the MTR, I don't see anything here that would warrant him spending 18 years of his life where he would then get out and be in his 40s. He would. I'm going to be turning 50 pretty soon, but I can only imagine myself starting my life essentially 9 years ago. So I just don't see that the facts warrant that here. I ask that the court please take mercy on him in its sentencing, and please allow him to get a start at life. I think with some structure, he might actually
Great
show some
attorney.
potential.
Absolute fantastic job. If he was court appointed, I'd probably fire my paid attorney and tell the courts I'm broke. Give me him. He cares about me. I mean, this dude said, in other words, Your Honor, I used to be, wild in my older days, right? And I'm not the same guy I used to be. A man's brain don't stop growing till they're about 52. I'm just playing. He didn't say that. But the attorney also said something about 18 years. I believe that's what the state's asking for. And if that's the case, my friends, that is terrifying. Because a judge usually always goes with the state sometimes. Goes above and beyond. But will the Honorable Judge Boyd go under? Give him less time than anyone in there is imagining? Let's find out.
Before you met her, did you tell her you were on probation for aggravated robbery?
Yes.
And did she give you any advice to, hey, you need to report?
She was scared for my life too, because the last time I was here, you had told me that I wasn't gonna get life if I ever came back here.
Oh my.
Now, I'm sure what I've said was, from here on out, everything you do, you need to ask yourself if the actions you're taking, if that could result in you potentially going to prison for life.
Yes,
If it
sir.
is, don't do it. If the answer is maybe, don't do it.
Yes,
And I'm
sir.
sure I probably told you, if there's anything that you need, speak with your probation officer. If you feel they're not addressing it, you can always come back to the court. You did neither. Instead, what you did was not report for close to 2 years and pick up new charges.
Complete
All right.
disrespect.
The court is finding 1-1
Oh,
for
Bobby!
The court will find you guilty, revoke. I'll request a therapeutic community.
Oh,
There's an affirmative finding of deadly weapon. There's to be restitution to Miguel.
she just gave him a recommendation to therapeutic community. Where I'm from, you don't get that unless you got a short bid, like 3 years, 5 years or less. So he could possibly be getting way less than 18. I don't know exactly how therapeutic community runs in Texas. And for those that don't know what exactly it is, it's like a program prison. A lot of drug addicts go there. Not really much violence, you're just kind of doing classes and schoolwork all day. That sad face might have worked.
If any, there's a $1,500 fine. Time and money to run concurrently.
Not bad, not bad.
There's to be no residing in households with minors, and the court will sentence you to 14 years in the prison.
Oh!
Judge, may I just please ask for reconsideration for less again, just based on everything here, Judge. I do appreciate that this was less than the 18 years that the state asked for, but again, may we please ask for reconsideration.
This, ladies and gentlemen, is what I call getting smoked from here to kingdom come. The state was asking for 18. The judge showed a little bit of mercy, gave him 14 blickums. Oh my goodness, this guy's goose got cooked. Well, there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. Hopefully you enjoyed this story and the clip of the day. I did have a couple clips coming from the old penitentiary, but I think I'll save that for the next round. So stay tuned for that. And the only way to do that, ladies and gentlemen, is by hitting that notification bell, setting it to all. In the meantime, though, as always, y'all be easy, be safe, follow the rules and regulations of probation, don't be doing those stupid pranks, and stay free.